Hey everybody, it's been a really crazy day. I want to jump right into the clips, but before I do that, I want to give a huge thanks to all the engineers that took some time to chat with me about some of the recommendations that they have for people looking to get into IT and just, giving their opinions on a lot of these things. The video, if I didn't edit, would be up to an hour, over an hour. I wanted this less than 15 minutes so it doesn't take up too much of your time. But anyway, let's jump into the video.
Hold on. How do I look? Am I presentable?
Yeah, man. Clean look.
All right. Clean look.
Yep.
All right.
So, what do you do?
I'm an Azure data architect.
An infrastructure analyst.
Software engineer.
I am a senior systems engineer.
Network operations center analyst.
Principal engineer.
I'm an infrastructure engineer.
I'm a solutions architect.
I'm an information security architect.
I am currently the technical team lead on the mobile team.
But I would say my role is slightly more diverse and expanded than that. I'm not just an average software engineer who just sits back and writes code. I would call myself more of a computer engineer because I'm involved with the hardware side of the systems also, and I actually have to integrate the hardware, like the code I'm writing goes and integrates into the a specific hardware part or the hardware chip on the computer system itself, like a microcontroller.
My job is to work across different teams within the organization, understand the different problems they're trying to solve, and try to help them solve them in the most secure way possible. It means I have to know a lot of different disciplines and understand a lot of different domains.
So I essentially just oversee the architectural decisions and day-to-day for the technical team.
I am primarily geared towards Azure, Active Directory, so group policy, domain controllers, our data center, our virtual servers, and that's mainly the area I work in.
Like managing anything network related, dealing with hardware, monitoring applications throughout the day, going through layer 1 to layer 3 troubleshooting. Some of the tools that we use, Orion, Leak Monitor, normally deal with the CloudGenix device, switches, Cisco's, firewalls, things of that nature.
What I do day to day, I would say it's a mix of system, identity access management, as well as delivery engineering. Basically breaking all that down system-wide. I'm maintaining all our Windows Server, Linux host. Identity and access-wise, I'm basically maintaining our access across the organization. That's tools with like Active Directory, GPO group, SSO, things like that. Delivery engineering, I would say that's within building out CI/CD pipelines for our siloed teams. So using things like Ansible, Terraform, Octopus, Kubernetes, things like that.
Sure. When I first came in, I came in as just applications developer, which was more specific to the mobile. Well, in doing that, you get to see other different branches of development in general.
Before that, I was on the e-commerce team, who is responsible for all of our sales online, and I was a senior developer there. So this was essentially just kind of like a change of pace and mixed in with essentially a promotion, because I got moved from like a senior role to now into a leadership role.
Before being an architect, I was working as a database administrator for about 20 years.
My career started about 20 years ago. I was a junior developer. I've been a software developer for most of my career. I switched over to pure security role about 2 years ago in an application security lead role.
In-demand IT positions, that's ever shifting. I think data science.
Anything in the data spectrum.
Anything that has to do with data.
Data scientist.
Definitely anything cloud related.
Cloud engineer.
Cloud.
Azure Cloud or Amazon, AWS, Google Cloud.
Of course, software engineering.
Software engineering.
Software engineers definitely.
If I wasn't doing IT, I would either probably be teaching.
I would be teaching.
Be somewhere around teaching.
Take a teaching job. I'm interested in teaching, so probably be a teacher.
Probably like a lot of people in IT, I started from a young age, very interested in computers. Probably going to date myself, but my first computer was a Commodore 64, and I was very interested in making games for it. And back then, the way that games were often delivered was you would get a magazine in the mail. And if you wanted the game on your computer, you had to type it in line by line. So I started out by taking these games and magazines and typing them in. And sometimes they wouldn't run and you'd have to go back and sort of figure out why. And it was kind of the first intro into debugging programs. And then eventually you figure out, oh, if I change this number, I get more lives. So you start learning a little bit about how it works. And that experience sort of carried me through.
I started my career in telecommunications with Bell South as a service technician. The broadband revolution happened while I was just a regular old dial tone technician, and I got involved in broadband. Wound up getting my master's degree in information technology while I was working.
Because I ended up going to Kennesaw at the time, they did not have software engineering, but based on the research I did, I found out that computer science was very similar to software engineering, and it could kind of lead you to the same place. So I decided to go with computer science, and that's what I ended up graduating with.
Starting off in college, basically what I would do is I would buy and resell sneakers. The way I did that was I would spin up EC2 instances in Amazon. This was before cloud was even a big thing, so I was doing that just to get sneakers. Once I started doing that, that's when I really started getting an interest in IT, because I didn't know anything about Windows Server, I didn't know anything about cloud infrastructure. I just needed that server to be within the same general data center location of that website.
It sounds cliche, but honestly, for IT, the most important thing you need is going to be the zeal, drive, and passion. That's all it takes. That is all it takes. There's nothing easy in IT. As long as you have those three, you can conquer it all.
One, be flexible. Two, be willing to learn. It's all about learning. Trust me, you don't have to be perfect to get in there. As long as you have the zeal to learn and be able to acquire new knowledge and be able to apply it as fast as possible, that's the only thing that you really need to get into IT.
A strong passion to learn new technologies is very critical to be in the IT industry. This is because the lifespan of software tools are so short, and new things pop up every other day. It's critical for someone who wants to join this industry, need to have a passion to learn new stuff in a short period.
So whether you learn Java, whether you learn Ruby, whether you learn Python, just learn how to do something well. Don't try to learn a million different things. Just learn how to do something well, and you realize that picking up something new is even easier. As long as you have the foundation and the principles you need, I think you can pick up almost anything.
You need to know how to source out. So I think I don't remember Einstein or someone said about finding information, and not just finding information, but the ability to use that information found. It's very important.
Being able to research is huge. Being able to not necessarily know everything, but how to find the information you need. That is going to help you more than memorizing anything, because what is necessary today is outdated tomorrow.
I think the number one thing you need to work on while you're in school is to build your own thing, whatever it is. There's so much stuff out there that you can get your hands on now in terms of information and tools, and there's Raspberry Pis, there's virtual machines, you can build your own virtual lab at home. Whatever it is, you need to show potential, future potential employers your passion, and the easiest way to do that and most effective way to do that is to show them a thing that you built for yourself for no reason other than you were curious. It wasn't for a grade. It wasn't because you thought it was going to make a lot of money. It's just because you thought it would be an interesting project, and then talk about what you learned.
Okay, this last clip, this is key advice, and I agree with it 100%. And I just wanted to say that before it ran.
Getting a job in the help desk, a lot of people, I don't know, they look down on it, or they think that's not what they want to do. But it is such a great entry-level position in any IT organization, and you really get to learn the business, which is even more important than knowing the technology. It's knowing why you do something is to me, more important than how you do something. So when you get into a call center or a help desk analyst, you're getting constant requests from end users, and you're helping them do their job. And as you're helping them do their job, you're learning the business. When I was working on my master's degree, I had that thought that I didn't want to start out as a help desk analyst. Fate kind of forced my hand into it, and that experience was invaluable.
Okay, I hope you all found this very informative. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I'll try to have them answered in a reasonable amount of time. But anyway, have a great day. Come to IT.
I don't see myself doing anything but IT.